My name is Dr. Darragh McCashin. I'm Assistant Professor in the School of Psychology at Dublin City University, and I'm the Working Group Chair for Working Group 3, which is looking at the individual level. I'm really excited to join you for our manifesto launch on the 11th of October, where we'll be going over the main mission of this really exciting ReMO network. Some of you have been very helpfully involved since its inception. And what we're really hoping to do with our manifesto launch is really show how we are calling for the assessment of the health and well-being of researchers, and really kind of thinking about how we can best further this cost action. It's been a very challenging year, 2 years nearly with the pandemic, and we've been delighted with the engagement across all levels of academia, in particular PhD students, postdocs, and then also very senior policymakers as well. I want to say a bit about Working Group 3 and the more kind of bottom-up approach. My colleagues, Dr. Janet Metcalf and Dr. Stefan Moll across Working Group 1 and 2 respectively, have talked about their really interesting levels. But in Working Group 3, we're very interested in community, bottom-up and individual approaches. For me personally, this is where a lot of my interest in research and mental health comes from. I did my PhD in technology-enabled mental health for young people, and in engaging with the Marie Curie Alumni Association Network and talking about these issues, I did notice the theme of researcher mental health continually coming up. And in engaging with fellow PhD students and seeing the issues that were out there, alongside seminal papers such as Katja Levesque at the time, you could see there was a really healthy momentum building to tackle the issues that we know exist within researcher mental health or sometimes ill health. And in nourishing, I suppose, that kind of bottom-up approach, Working Group 3 is really trying to say, what can we actually do in such a way that we can add these factors together to achieve what we're hoping to achieve in the overall cost action. So what does that actually mean? There's a couple of things, I suppose, that are particularly interesting. The first is like using the resources that are ourselves, peer-to-peer support, mentoring, whether that's formalized mentoring or whether that's informal mentoring, the use of technology within that process. The pandemic, for example, has produced many challenges, but has also shown us that actually we can virtually conduct the likes of mentoring, or in part virtual. And my colleague, Dr. Stephanie Gauthier, Vice Chair of this cost action, we both set up Reverend within the MCAA rather. And this has worked well at a pilot stage. So the question about rolling out mentoring programs at an individual level, perhaps using the trainer models, is an exciting prospect, and one that a lot of our colleagues have found exciting throughout the course of this action. This ties into, I suppose, awareness, a broad theme of awareness, which is of course the first goal of any cost action, is building awareness of the issue, and particularly for mental health across the very diverse regions within the EU. Seeing how we can effectively build awareness, not just of this action, but of the wider issues that are implicated here, is a core goal. And connecting with grassroots, individual levels of researchers is absolutely important to this process. Social media has been an interesting ingredient here as well. Controversial disclosures of very negative mental health experiences at different levels of academia have prompted a lot of policymakers to wake up and listen to individual levels. And that's a really interesting ingredient that we need to ethically harness as well. And that's certainly a topic within Working Group 3 as well. Likewise, supervision. So what can we do at individual and community levels to best address the issue of sometimes inconsistent supervision when it comes to the issue of optimal mental health of researchers? So broadly speaking, of course, the cost action has kind of 3 core goals. As I said, that awareness building. We also have the building of an evidence hub. And finally, perhaps ambassador programs, such as train the trainers at a practical kind of rollout level. So throughout the life course of this cost action, I look forward to working with policymakers, institutions, but in particular, community and individual levels of researchers. We're really excited to launch this manifesto to outline some of the specifics of this plan, and more importantly, how you can get involved. And to those that have been involved so far, thank you for your input, and we're really excited to meet perhaps some new members as well.